Welcome into the Farzy show, everybody. The Philadelphia Eagles are headed back to the Super Bowl, where they will take on Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid, I'm not familiar with his work, but let alone he'll be facing the Eagles in the Super Bowl, as fate would have it. Of course, welcome into the show. I am all sorts of jazzed up. I was on Broad Street last night. I was in Atlantic City for the pregame show for the halftime hit with our Jacob Media friends. And let me tell you this, being in Center City last night, the minute I realized this game was really going to be a blowout and that San Francisco was done. I mean, let's face it was early in the game. Were they to go to Josh Johnson in this game, a guy that was drafted in 2008 and is not really played a lot since then, to put it kindly. I was like, they've pretty much got this game. And then he couldn't catch the shotgun snap, and then the Eagles catch that in, and I went, this game's pretty much out of hand. So I looked at Seth Joyner, I looked at Derek Gunn, I looked at Mike Misnell, I looked at Devin Caney, and I went, I'll see you on Broad Street. And I hightailed it back to Center City, Philadelphia from at Ocean Casino, and I parked. I figured it would be best idea to park north of Broad. So I did that, okay? Or not north of Broad, west of Broad, okay? On the other side to get out of the city, right? So I did that. I walked into the City Hall area, and there was everyone celebrating. And I'll tell you what, I consider what I do a public service. I mean, I love it. I don't want to choose anything else, but I love it. But I love connecting with people. That's why we do the chat check on the show. That's why I did Farzy in the field for as long as I did, and we'll continue to do it for good moments. Like last night, for instance, we have a sort of Farzy in the field, but it's really about you, the fan, that's the star of the show here. But I love that connection with the fan base. And being there yesterday with just random people hugging me, random people, we're taking pictures with each other, we're filming all the funny stuff that's going on around us, we're just smiling, we're having a great time. I'm not kidding you. Last night, I'm sitting standing right outside the La Colombe, outside City Hall, right by it's like 15th and Market, right? I'm standing there, and I'm trying to get on the post-game show with Mikey Miss, Gunner, and Seth Joyner, and I'm having trouble connecting because everyone's trying to get on the internet. I'm having trouble connecting. And from like the Ritz-Carlton down the street, I see two guys carrying something, and I pull focus, and they're carrying another guy who, I don't know if he broke his ankle. I don't know if he jumped off the awning, which has become a tradition in Philadelphia at Ritz-Carlton. I don't know what it is, but they're carrying him out like he was being returned from the front lines. And they're the guy that like broke his ankle or whatever he did was still high-fiving people and like laughing and having himself a great time. It was amazing. And they walked right by me. They're like, "Hey, go Birds!" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Is he all right?" I got video of it. There was a guy trying to tightrope across the stoplight. I've seen people climb the pole. By the way, the people that grease the poles, God love you. I don't know if you greased them this time around or not, but whoever's job it is to grease the pole, I would assume it's the lowest guy on the, not exactly the highest praised position. But whoever it is, I think we can step up our game a little bit. But whatever it is, Philadelphia fans will find a way. So I got this guy. I'm watching. I'm like, what does this dude do? So he climbs up the pole, and then he stands there. Now, the Eagles banner, if you haven't been in Center City for a minute, they've decorated everything with Eagles banners. And the guy comes out, and somebody takes the banner, and then he scurries on down the pole. And then another guy goes up, and I'm like, well, what's he going to get after there? And I'm like, he probably just wants to stand up there and take a picture. Stands up there, takes pictures, chugs a beer. I'm like, good for that person. And then they proceed to attempt to tightrope walk down the traffic light. I don't know what the fall is, but it's not a short fall. That's a big fall onto concrete. And they took a couple of steps. They got a couple of steps out there, and then they're like, whoa. And they came on back. You know who would have walked the entire way? Nick Sirianni, he throws caution into the wind. Just like if it's a 4th and 3 in your own territory, just like it's a 4th and 1 and you're deep in your own territory, you're still going to go for it. By golly. Oh, my goodness, Philadelphia. I know you were climbing all over the monuments last night. You're climbing all over the sculptures, if you will. Everyone was having a great time. There were fireworks going off, high-fiving, hugs all around. It was such a beautiful sight to see Philadelphia celebrate in that way, and you deserve every second of it, Philadelphia. It came out during the game. I was talking with the guys about it was one of the instances where Jalen Hurts, he ran and he looked like he got up and winced a little bit in that third quarter. And then he ran again, and then he ran again. And I'm like, all right, can we take it easy on the running here? And Seth's like, oh, come on, man. You got it, the Super Bowl. There's no tomorrow. And I'm like, there is tomorrow. Tomorrow's the Super Bowl. I don't need to see him after he gets up wincing like that. I don't need him to run again, that kind of thing. And he's like, man, you can't take anything for granted. And I said, Seth, my man, I know you won a Super Bowl. I think he said his 12th year in the league. I'll have to double check that. It took him forever to get to that, everything. But I just said, man, I said, just as a fan, 27 years of my life, the first 27 years of my life, this city had won nothing. I've told you guys before that the 83 Sixers won when I was like 6 months old. Okay, so technically in my lifespan, but I don't remember that, obviously. I don't take anything for granted. And to experience this run that we are on right now, to experience the last 6 months that we have experienced right now, is still not even close to lost on me. For my generation of Philadelphia sports fans that grew up with that same type of start to your life, where you had 20 plus years of listening to your older family members or friends or whatever saying, oh, you should have seen the 70 Flyers. They were incredible. You should have seen Dr. J. You should have seen these guys. Should have seen the 80 Phillies and all that. It's not lost on me at all, because I grew up with all that and just thinking to myself, wow, if I could just experience a parade. And then in 2008, I experienced it with the Phillies. And then we experienced it with the Eagles winning. I am just absolutely blown away by the euphoria that this city gets to enjoy when it comes to our sports teams doing well. And I know there's people out there that just don't get sports. They don't understand it. They don't know why we're rooting for these, whatever, and I'm like, for me, it's a sense of community. It really is a sense of community. And just as a side note to that, that's why I don't understand bandwagon fans. Like, that's why I don't understand, the Cowboys fans that aren't from Dallas, or really any fan base that's not from that fan base. I don't get it. Because the best moments you really have are the moments where you're like alone in your living room. Most of your family doesn't like you, and you throw your hands up in the air like that's it. But like, for us who enjoy and love and have passion for our team and our city, oh my God, to be out there to celebrate with everyone, oh man, it was just spectacular. Without further ado, let me just give you some of the sights and sounds of last night on Broad Street at City Hall. Take a look at this.
All that overrated number one defense that they didn't play anybody. They talking about all record. Come on now. Best O-line. Where was Nick Bosa at tonight? I didn't see Nick Bosa at all.
Invincible.
All these linebackers.
Oh, you're back. Go Bird.
Okay.
Go Bird. Go Bird.
All right, that guy originally turned me down. He said he was too intoxicated. Guess who sobered up?
Go Bird.
That is a true story. Both gentlemen that were kind enough to speak to me last night. Nobody. I'm too drunk. I can't talk. It's fine. But the first gentleman that you saw there, I will just say this, went on a tirade, absolute tirade. Okay. And was like, I'll just say it was interesting language. And he walks away, and his one buddy's like, yo, dude, I don't remember his name. I'm sorry, but he was great. And his buddy goes, yo, dude, you're a teacher. You can't talk like that. Still fighting the cold, by the way. You're a teacher. You can't talk like that. And he goes, yo, Farzy, don't use that. All right. And I was like, I'll use the good parts. He's like, all right, cool, thanks. And then the second guy that came up there that said it was too intoxicated to talk to me literally did shoot me down. He said, no, I can't talk to you. I'm too drunk. And I'm like, all right, no worries, brother. And then he came up to me again. He was like, yo, Brad, I'm like, you said you were too drunk. But anyway, just love being able to get out there with the fans and all that stuff. Look, we're going to get to analysis of the game tomorrow because I'll just say this. The Eagles didn't exactly play their best game offensively in particular as the San Francisco 49ers awarded them 7 first downs. And it was penalties that were pretty legit in some of them. Devontae Smith's incredible play shouldn't have happened because it was a drop, but credit to the Eagles for hustling the line of scrimmage and getting that play off, and credit to Devontae Smith for saying, guys, no, let's hurry this up. I don't think I got that. Let's go. And they ended up still getting the touchdown. So that was great. But bottom line is, I know there are people, and I did at a certain point in this game, I did feel like they should be up a lot more than 7-0. This game shouldn't be 7-7. This game shouldn't be 14-7. They should be blowing this team out. Their third string now starting quarterback isn't even playing anymore, and they're going to Josh Johnson. It's time to take control of this game, and finally they were able to take control of that game. What made me feel a little dirty about it was that this was not the San Francisco 49ers team that came in here on fire, that came in here having won 12 games in a row, that came in here, putting up when they needed to put up the most against the Dallas Cowboys in the divisional round of the playoffs. This wasn't that same caliber of team. But the Eagles made sure it wasn't the same caliber of team. Let me acknowledge something here. I never, and no one should ever, root for injuries. But when you play aggressive and you're able to get into the backfield and you win your one-on-one matchups and you hit the quarterback, there is an essence of the game where you're looking to take them off of their game. Whether it's just like banging up their arm a little bit so they can't throw as far, whether it's just getting in their head to let you know that you're going to be coming around again on the next play, whatever it might be. But the goal is never injury. But if you get to the backfield, that could happen. If your offensive line, like the San Francisco 49ers last night, can't do their job, you're putting your quarterback in peril. And Hassan Reddick got after it last night. Got after it. Nick Bosa was, as that gentleman said, a non-factor in the game last night. One of the first plays of the game, Nick Bosa put Lane Johnson on roller skates and just bull rushed him back. And then it seemed like from that point on, Lane Johnson just owned his ass throughout this game, which was amazing with the abductor injury that he has. Absolutely incredible. And then you watch the rest of this game unfold, and the Eagles' offensive line was dominant in this game. Dominant. And at times where they might have had a crack here or there, Jalen Hurts escaped. Jalen Hurts got away from it. It was great. But watching that game unfold the way it did, and watching this defensive line, watching an edge rusher like Hassan Reddick go eat and knock Brock Purdy out of that game, force that fumble, man. I wish the Eagles could have capitalized on that turnover, but it just basically took their starting quarterback out of the game. Josh Johnson obviously got hit to the ground, and Ndamukong Suh knocks you down, and your head hits the turf. That's not going to end well either. Christian McCaffrey had to throw a pass in this game. It was pretty bonkers as the game went on. But the point is, yes, it wasn't the best version of the San Francisco 49ers. And look, I'm not the guy going into a game that ever hopes anything along the lines of something like, oh, man, I hope Jimmy G's healthy by the time kickoff happens. Oh, I hope Christian McCaffrey is healthy by the time. I hope his calf is feeling better. I hope Elijah Mitchell is actually able to play in this game. I'm not that guy. If a team's banged up, I'm not rooting that they're better. I'm not like whoever looks at the team they're playing goes, man, I wish they were better. Like, no, it doesn't matter. You're still going to go and go to the Super Bowl. You're still going to win the NFC Championship game. If you win the Super Bowl, which I think the Eagles are going to do against the Chiefs, by the way, spoiler, you're still going to go on to do all those great things. I don't care about the opponent. I just care that my team wins. But in a game, I don't want to see guys get knocked out. I don't want to see a starting quarterback get knocked out. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Trent Williams get into a tussle with Kayvon Wallace, and I certainly don't want to see Kayvon Wallace throw a punch in a game either, no matter how classless the 49ers were towards the end of that game. I don't want to see it. I want to see guys play healthy. I don't want to see guys. I never want to see anybody get hurt. I never want to see anybody get injured. And as that game was going on and you saw the struggles at quarterback for San Francisco, not even their great defense could overcome their struggles offensively. They gave a little bit of a fight there. Christian McCaffrey tied things up, and everyone like, okay, it's time to get serious. It's time to get serious, right? You should get serious. So when you watch that game unfold and you saw guys get hurt, it did feel dirty to watch the Eagles just dominate the way they did, especially in that second half, and put this game away. Because the Niners had really no chance of coming back. They had a quarterback that couldn't throw to end the game. They had what is Josh Johnson, a 5th-round pick in 2008? He was the guy trying to rally him back. Oh, no, that wasn't going to happen. I can't believe that we're looking back on this Philadelphia Eagles team, and from offseason to right now, you're talking about Nick Sirianni in his second year as the head coach of this football team. Just 2 years removed from the nervous Nicky press conference where he was introduced as the Eagles head coach. Everyone's like, this guy ain't it. This guy can't coach, right? I said, give this man a chance. Give this man a chance. And then I was out on the flower speech. The flower speech, I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? And then I ended up rallying the troops and ended up going on to make the playoffs and now go to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts. Look at how his career started here in Philadelphia. Not many people hated Jalen Hurts when the pick was made. I would say nobody hated Jalen Hurts when the pick was made. I think a hell of a lot of people, myself included, were really pissed off that the Eagles, after giving a $150 million deal to Carson Wentz, went, hey, let's get a quarterback here in the second round. What? That should never be the philosophy. Maybe Howie, and this is probably giving him way too much credit, but maybe Howie saw the writing on the wall that Carson Wentz was not the guy. Maybe he knew. Maybe in some way, shape, or form, he knew that Carson Wentz was going to be the guy. But if that's the case, 150 mil to that guy, or 109 of it guaranteed, whatever the hell it was a big deal for Carson Wentz. And he drafted quarterback in the second round. Jalen Hurts was not brought into Philadelphia with open arms. And then he gets here. He gets to start the last couple of games of the season. He knows he's going to be the starting quarterback. Well, let's put it this way. It was very likely he was going to be the starting quarterback in the second year here. But even then, Deshaun Watson rumors are out there. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. People are talking. Are you going to draft another quarterback? People are talking about it. And even this past offseason, the Eagles have 3 first-round picks. Are the Eagles going to trade up and get a quarterback here? What are the Eagles going to do? Malik Willis? Yes, that was mentioned. Kenny Pickett? Can he get up there and get Kenny Pickett? He still had to deal with all that. And at the Combine, he had to deal with more reports about Russell Wilson. Apparently, the Eagles kicking the tires on Russell Wilson. And what did Jalen Hurts do through it all? What did Super Bowl quarterback Jalen Hurts do through it all? What did MVP candidate Jalen Hurts do through it all? You know what he did? He persevered. He said constantly, I'm above it all. I control what I can control. Man. And here he is, going to the Super Bowl with your beloved Philadelphia Eagles team. Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, joined at the hip at this point. I couldn't be happier for both those guys and what they showed, their perseverance. Nick Sirianni surviving the criticism in the early goings of his Eagles tenure, and Jalen Hurts surviving, not exactly getting a warm embrace when he was originally drafted, not exactly getting vote of confidence after vote of confidence from this front office, or many rumors throughout the NFL. But he persevered, and he kept going, and the Eagles invested in him. The Eagles said, you know what? All right, we know we're going to go with you here. A.J. Brown. How about A.J. Brown? You want to throw to A.J. Brown this year? Sound good? Okay, cool. You can throw to A.J. Brown. We're going to draft a wide receiver as well, Devontae Smith. You like throwing to Devontae Smith? You like doing that? That was 2 years ago. Yeah, they kind of like doing that. It's really incredible to watch this team come together the way they have. I asked this question. Hit me up in the comments and let me know what you think here, because I asked this question of Seth Joyner and Derek Gunn during the pregame show yesterday. I said, "What's the more impressive? Like, what's harder to believe? If I would have told you in September, what's harder to believe? Jalen Hurts will be an MVP candidate. At worst, top 3, really top 2, my opinion. The MVP. What's more unlikely? That or the Eagles getting 70 sacks in a season." Yes, me, it's the 70 sacks. I never would have thought of Jonathan Gannon defense, Hassan Reddick or not, would get you 70 sacks in a season. That is incredible. And the man that led that charge all season long was Temple University's own Haason Reddick. He was a terror yesterday, and he was a terror all season long. And when you put together the incredible season of Haason Reddick, this entire defense was 70 sacks, and you put that together with an MVP caliber quarterback, you're going places. And the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl because of that. Really, adjustments made by the entire defense, upgrades made by the defense, James Bradbury having a phenomenal year, a Pro Bowl caliber year to say the least. My man doesn't get any respect. It's absolutely bonkers to think about what this team has done this year. And yeah, you could talk about great Eagles teams of the past. This team stacks up against any of them. I mean, all right, let's go back to 48 and 49 when they won back-to-back world championships. All right, NFL championships. All right, 48, 49, there's some great teams. 1960, they obviously won with Chuck Bednarik and those, and Tommy McDonald and those guys, right? They had some great teams in the 80s. They had some great teams. But early 2000s, great teams, great defenses. This Eagles team, man, is probably the deepest. This Eagles team, I hope, has the opportunity to go out there and absolutely prove that they are the best Eagles team ever. Now, that 2017 team that did win the Super Bowl, that's probably, and right there, walk that back for a second, that probably was the deepest team considering where they were at on their depth chart when they won the Super Bowl with the backup quarterback. But in terms of your starting 22, whoo, baby, holy pots and pans. That's pretty incredible to think about how stacked this team is. For their starting 22, yeah, I would say would beat the 2017 starting 22. Pretty incredible. And when I say starting 22, I mean who would start the Super Bowl. I think they would beat Nick Foles. But then again, Nick Foles is kind of perfect. Kind of hard to beat that. But the defense did allow a lot of points. Maybe this offense would be a little bit better than that. I just hope they go out there and they prove it. You got the Kansas City Chiefs sitting in front of you. Patrick Mahomes is obviously the X factor in that. No matter how much the team might be struggling, no matter how bad the team might be playing, Patrick Mahomes is the guy in the NFL that you look at, and I think in a similar light that you look like Jalen Hurts. But Patrick Mahomes is the ultimate. Patrick Mahomes is the man. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Jalen Hurts has got to beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl to be the man. All right, let's just call it what it is. But man, that's the guy in Patrick Mahomes that everybody looks at in the NFL and says, if you're playing with that guy as your quarterback, you always have a chance to win. If you're down, even late in the game, you always have a chance to win. Go ask the Tennessee Titans about that. They know a thing or two about building up a lead on Patrick Mahomes. 2 weeks is way too long a time to go from that party last night on Broad Street to waiting for the Super Bowl. Way too long a time. Can't wait for it. But we gotta. They're going to Glendale, folks. They're going to Glendale. Let's hear from our head coach last night. Oh, first, let me just show this. Just check this out. For the people on the podcast, this is Jalen Hurts at his locker at the lake, on his phone, smoking a stogie, having himself a good time in celebration. First off, I don't really like talking about outfits. I'm not a fashionista, okay? But I believe my man's got some drip, which is a term I just coined. He's got the purple leather jacket on. He's got the purple pants. Looking like the Joker. Looks like $1 million. Here's Jalen Hurts after the game talking about what all this means to him.
Man, we put a lot of work in to have this opportunity. Put a lot of work in to have this opportunity and to be here, and it's a moment that we want to enjoy as a team. Reflecting on everything that we've been able to overcome to have this opportunity in front of us. We want to take advantage of it. The atmosphere tonight was amazing. The fans showed up. The energy, all of it. So we need to bring that to AZ.
Do you feel like you landed in a city that cares about this as much as you do?
I love the game. I know this city loves the game too. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Seeing it now, Sean Gillespie, Eddie Murphy raw vibes from Jalen there. You're right. The purple, a little bit. Was raw the purple? What was the other one? Delirious? No, that was a movie he was in. Yeah, maybe. Is that the one where he's talking about? There was a fight at the club. When it was over, everybody sued me. Oh, you just saw Rocky, right? Anyway, that was Jalen Hurts after the game last night. It's an interesting question. That was Dave Zangaro asking the question there. Do you feel like you landed in a city that cares about this as much as you do? I know sometimes people will drum this up as a Rocky thing, whatever, an underdog thing, and that's fine. You can do that, but I don't think that's necessarily telling the whole story. I think that's a very short-sighted way of looking at it. But you guys know I've done some traveling throughout this great country, and been amongst other fan bases, and I've taken the time to go through their tailgates and talk to different fans, made friends in other cities in this great country and all that stuff. And I will just say this, man, it just feels very different in Philadelphia. And I'm not just talking about people I've met once or twice, like people that I know pretty well now. And it just feels a lot different in Philly. Philly is the place where you don't have to be the guy that throws for 50 touchdowns. I mean, we'll take it. We love it. You don't have to be the guy that's a perennial Pro Bowler. You can be a guy that is just busting your ass every single time. You basically have to show the fans that you care just as much and hopefully more than they do when you fail and when you succeed. And when you succeed with a little bit of humility. A.J. Brown's a perfect example of that. I bring it up all the time. He caught 3 touchdown passes. He wanted 4. Jalen Hurts leads this team to be the last undefeated team in the NFL, leads this team to be the first team to clinch a playoff spot, and he's still not impressed with anything. There is still work to be done. They are still in deep pursuit of perfection, despite all the successes they've had so far this year. Jalen Hurts is a perfect match for Philadelphia. One of the things I don't think we acknowledge enough about us, and I think we use this as a negative, but when somebody comes out and they act like whatever, like that kind of mindset, that kind of attitude, that's a very Philly type of mindset or attitude. It's not a matter of like, I don't care. It's a matter of, I don't care about your opinion because it's worth nothing to me. Like if you're going to tell me I suck, I'll be like, whatever. Like Philly is very quick to, okay, go to hell. Like that kind of thing. Where we just brush it off like, what the hell do you know? Like that kind of thing. Like you can't get through my thick Philadelphia skin. Jalen Hurts is that guy. Jalen Hurts has a lot of that. You can't get to Jalen Hurts. And why is that? Because he's above it all. Oh, you're gonna talk trash to me? You're gonna tell me I'm not good enough to do this? You're gonna tell me I'm not worthy of that second round pick? Okay. Stand back. Watch what I do. I can't finish off a championship game for Alabama? Okay, watch what I do. I'm going to go over to Oklahoma. I'm going to handle my business over there. I'm going to go to the NFL, and I'm going to make it to the Super Bowl. That's Philly mindset. Jalen Hurts has got that Philly mindset. If you show the fans that you give as much of a damn as they do, they're going to love you forever. Throwing some success with that, oh, man. They'll be building statues, folks. They'll be building statues. And that's what Jalen Hurts brings to the table. I said before the season, I don't bet against people that have a lot of talent, which Jalen Hurts has, and a hell of a work ethic. And he's got that as well. And now the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. If you're Fox and you're prepping for that Super Bowl, oh, man, no shortage of storylines, right? No shortage of – you got Andy Reid, you got the Kelce brothers. Oh, you got it all. You got it all. The one thing that did cross my mind was, and I like Jeffrey Lurie, but man, if I have a feeling he's gonna be talking, and man, he's gonna be, oh, Andy, I just love Andy. Andy's great. I mean, Andy, when Andrew, I love him. He's great, and to face him in the Super Bowl, oh, geez, he's great. That's gonna be Jeffrey Lurie for the next 2 weeks if he gets interviewed. And that's the point that I'll be like, hey, I think I'm okay. to beat Andy Reid. This is where my mind drifted to last night. I drifted to Jeffrey Lurie talking about Andy Reid all week, right? All 2 weeks. And then you know what it drifted to? It drifted to the Eagles being up by a field goal in the Super Bowl. And then Andy Reid botching his time management. And the Eagles win. Patrick Mahomes, for whatever reason, can't hurry up in the last 5 minutes of the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs lose. Is Greg Lewis still a coach with the Chiefs? I don't even know. I'll have to double check. But anyway. How about the current head coach of the Eagles? Our man Nick Sirianni taken to the podium after the game last night. Here's Nick Sirianni addressing the media. Coaching in the Super Bowl. Not bad.
Pretty awesome. This is something you dream about your whole life. And like I said to the guys, we've all been dreaming about it. Whether you were dreaming about it when you were 2, 10, 14, 18, or when you got in the NFL, this is something we all dream about, and we get to do it because we did it better than anybody else in the NFC this year. So that it's pretty special. Fans were awesome. Atmosphere was unbelievable. When you guys go into our indoor, there's always that picture in the back part of it of the 2017 NFC Championship game, and it's just the electricity of the stadium. And we're looking forward to getting another one up there, another picture up there of this special moment that we had. But looking forward to celebrating this with loved ones, and then moving on and getting this next one.
By the way, when Nick Sirianni went up to the desk there, you saw his kids there with him, right? When he started the press conference, he was like calling plays for his kids. He was like, okay, you sit here, you sit there. No, you don't want to sit there? Okay, how about you sit over here? Then his son got up to give his seat to his sister, which is just beautiful. And Nick Sirianni was like, oh, that's great. Never stop being a dad. That's great. But imagine that. Going in, taking over for Doug Peterson, who brought this city their first Super Bowl. Having to go into the office every day and seeing that trophy. Seeing those pictures from that NFC Championship game with those banners being hung all over the place. And you got to look up at that. Yeah, you got to want that. That's got to be a little extra added motivation. I'm going to get mine up there, right? I'm sure every coach thinks about that when they walk into a building that's had some semblance of success. I'm going to get that too. And here we are. We're 13 days from the Super Bowl. Like I said before, guys, it's not lost on me the fact that our Philadelphia Phillies just played in the World Series. And hopefully this Philadelphia Eagles team in their championship will have a different outcome, but they're in the championship. Sixers are playing some great basketball right now. Joel Embiid has regained MVP status as far as I'm concerned. I told you before, that's great. If he gets it, wonderful. All I care about is winning in the playoffs and getting a championship. But, man, this is a good time right now to be a Philadelphia sports fan. This is a pretty damn good time. It's pretty incredible. And it does remind me of going back to, my childhood and hearing about how great the 70s were, how great the 80s were, right? And all that stuff. When you had the Eagles go to the Super Bowl in 80, you had the Phillies win the World Series. You had the Phillies go back to the World Series in 83. You had the Sixers win in 82, 83. You had the Flyers, of course, were great teams in the 80s, just couldn't win it. But they still had back-to-back cup wins, of course, in the 70s, as we all know. And I was told about that my whole life. Like I said, for the first 27 years of my life, how great a time that was. This time doesn't seem that far off, man. This team does not seem that far off. And I remember asking a question, when the Sixers had Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, and they were building, and I think they had just gotten Jimmy Butler. And the Eagles had Carson Wentz, and things were building and all that stuff. And the Phillies were loading up with Bryce Harper, and things were looking good, And the Flyers had Carter Hart, and you're still wondering what you're going to get from Carter Hart. Just had his shutout. That's great. But, man, I was just thinking, I remember asking the question to people, Philadelphia's going to win championships. How many? Let's get greedy for a second here. Let's live in a greedy world, not a scared world anymore where we're like, oh, no, this is going to happen, and then someone's going to get hurt. Or this is going to happen, and then that guy's not going to get re-signed. Let's live in that greedy world for a second. People are like, 3. I think 3. 3 championships. Maybe 6 across all the sports. Hey, man, here's hoping. Let me tell you about my man, Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row, where you get the perfect price each and every day at Steven Singer Jewelers and online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price, the perfect price online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Let me tell you about the great people at Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code Farzy at Manscaped.com. You'll enjoy their Platinum Package 4.0, which I just actually used on the old beard there. That's right. I have 2 of the trimmers, just for the record. One I used on the beard. So there you go. Manscaped, manscaped.com. Their Platinum Package 4.0 includes their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, their Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, and they come with skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. So there you go. Check out manscaped.com. How about Freestone Farm CBD? Freestone Farm CBD, freestonefarmcbd.com. You'll enjoy the tropical tasting Bayox that clocks into the chart-topping 24.1% and Super CBD, which is half Hindu, Kush, and 21%. Genetics of these guys are off the charts. So check out Freestone Farm CBD, freestonefarmcbd.com. Use promo code Farzy for 20% off. Oh, I got everybody excited here. Let's jump into the chat, see how you beautiful people are doing on this fine Championship Monday. April. Good morning, April. And by the way, I think I reset the record. I thought I said it Friday with being all sick and stuff. Still a little sick today. Was putting some last minute stuff together for you guys. So I was like super late today. Miss Guzzi for the people on the live program. April, nice to see you. Kevin, what's going on? Sean, T-Bro. Going to the freaking Super Bowl. Sean, hello again. Clay, good morning all. Once again, the juju worked. I didn't watch the Birds, and they're going to the Super Bowl. Clay, I don't know if you wear a cape or not. But if it's okay if you don't, because not all heroes wear capes. Okay, Clay. Thank you very much. There's PJ pointing out you're a superhero. I hope someone sets me up. Sean, let's see. 49ers fans are now saying the Eagles intentionally injured Purdy. I saw that. The refs were against them. The Eagles were lucky. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the deal. Sean, I've seen that as well. 49ers fans, I would be pissed off too. 49ers fans, I would be upset too if Devontae Smith dropped that ball and then they later score a touchdown to open up 7-0. I would be pissed off too. But the referees, the thing is, you see, and I get that the Eagles needed a momentum-stopping drive for the Niners and a momentum-building drive for themselves. 14 plays, 75 yards, and there's 3 first downs on that drive awarded to the Eagles for penalties on the Niners. When the flags were thrown in those crucial moments, I thought to myself, okay, let's see this. The Eagles are getting bailed out. The Eagles are getting bailed out, but let's see the penalty. Let's see. You had the 2 defensive holding calls, I believe it was, and then illegal contact. All of them legitimate. Oh, hands to the face. Landon Dickerson, literally, they're like choking the guy. Well, not choking him because his face is up here, his neck's down there. But you get what I'm saying. There are legitimate penalties. And you know what else doesn't happen? You know what else? If that drive doesn't happen, the drive doesn't happen not because of the penalties. The drive also wouldn't happen. Like if the refs missed those calls, yeah, you know what? Maybe the drive doesn't happen. You know what else would negate the drive from happening? Going for it deep in your own territory on a 4th and 1. Eagles went for it. Eagles offensive line and Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert with the old butt push. They got it. Nick Sirianni and his massive cojones got the first down. Eagles kept that drive going too. 49ers, on a number of occasions, whether it was on A.J. Brown, whether it was on Dallas Goedert, whether it was on Landon Dickerson, this well-disciplined defense of the 49ers went bye-bye when your offense needed them the most. So before you go ahead and point your fingers at somebody else, San Francisco, Santa Clara, look at what you guys did. And if you want to say intentionally hurt a quarterback, I hate to break it to you, but football's a rough sport. Hassan Reddick made plays, and Ndamukong Suh made plays. None of them were flagged, nor should they have been flagged. Even in Ndamukong Suh, I looked at it, I was like, was he driving Josh Johnson into the ground? Because that's a penalty. Nope. He did not. He did not drive him into the ground. He made sure his weight did not land on top of him. He made a good football play. Even by modern rinky-dink, soft-ass, standards, he still made the smart play. So when San Francisco 49ers fans want to cry, hey, look, I understand you're upset. You guys lost the NFC Championship game. You guys had a great year. I'd be upset too. But those are legit penalties. April, please tell me you did a Farzy in the field. More or less. Clay, hello again. Northeast Sports, Farzy, thumbs up. Thumbs up to you, my friend. Mo Horton, we're going to the Super Bowl. Let's go, Farzy. We need you more hyped. This is all I got. It's been a long night. Been a long day already. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Northeast Sports, what's up? Jeff, what's going on, Jeff? April, Smith knew he hadn't caught that ball. Yep, so heads up play, getting in the line of scrimmage. One thing that does remind me of, Seth Joyner did say, like, there's no gimmies, there's no freebies, and I agree with him on that. There's no gimmies, there's no freebies. He's right. I concur. But on top of that, with the no gimmies and no freebies, on top of that, this did feel a little bit cheap at certain times. They got a discount. I'll say this. It wasn't free, but the Eagles got a bit of a discount. Northeast Sports, what's going on? Clay, what's going on? Eddie Murphy, Raw Vibes, gotcha. These casual type fans seem to think it's about throwing 300 yards a game. Yeah, it's not. Northeast, I agree with you. Blue City Sports Farzy Show is the New York Football Giants. This is going to be the Super Bowl of the year versus Super Bowl of the year. Andy Reid versus his former team. This is a historic Super Bowl, I think is what you're saying. How about Blue City Empire Sports? What's with your Empire State Building, by the way? Was donning Eagles colors last night? What? True story. Not making it up. Gio, what's up, Gio? Nice to see you. Blue City, hello again. Gio, both Jalen and Sirianni are great for this city. You damn right they are. Eagles dominate on poor performances, meaning their offense don't even reach max peak and potential, and they still put up 30 points. I know that, right? That's a great point. Blue City got Lagana Mock. What's up, Lagana Mock? Good morning. Welcome to the show. Nice to have you. You guys are great. I'm going to leave you on this. PJ, I'm going to play the street scenes again as our morning rush, and that'll be our out. Okay? Are we cool with that? Is that cool? All right, guys, if you missed it the first time around, I'm going to show you again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Love all of you. Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. We'll talk tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the stars of Philadelphia. You, the fan, last night on Broad Street. See you guys tomorrow.
All that overrated number one defense that they didn't play anybody. They talking about all record. Come on now. Best O-line. Where was Nick Bosa at tonight? I didn't see Nick Bosa at all.
Invincible.
All these linebackers.
Oh, you're back. Go Bird, baby.
Okay.
Go Bird, go Bird.
All right, that guy originally turned me down. He said he was too intoxicated. Guess he sobered up.
Go Bird.